And you know what we do here basically? We look at topical issues in the country, we look at issues that concerns politics, health, finances, whatever concerns Nigeria that is a challenge or whatever bothers our country is our worry about today. And we all know that in the All Progressives Congress, it's been a talk of war from the national to the state. Just about when we thought that, oh, things are looking like it's been organized now, we have a reconciliation going on. We also heard of the news yesterday that there's a constitution of a new cabinet committee, different from the one that was instituted by the court, high court to be put out. As it stands now, it obviously looks like we have two chairmen. There is the one that is constitutionally recognized by the High Court that will given legal right to chair the cabinet committee, and then of course the one set up by 28 members out of the members of the state executive committee. So we have 28 members coming together to say they are suspending the acting chairman that was instituted by the court, the High Court in Port Harcourt, Igo Aguma. And from that meeting yesterday, they also appointed a new chairman, who is Sokote Davis, a former member of the House of Representatives. Let us come back home. We've actually had a talk with Sokote Davis, and he has also leveled some allegations against the legally recognized acting chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Igo Aguma, who is also a former member of the House of Representatives. We are with Igo Aguma to tell us his side of the story. Because basically, what we do here is prefer solution. When two elephants are in a wrestle, the grass is soft. In 2019, let me take you back. We basically had a one-party system because voters were denied the right to choose who they really want to lead them. They had just one option: is either you vote PDP or you don't come to vote during the election. Because that was all that was offered for elections. Because there was a loggerhead in between the parties. They couldn't field candidates. They were court matters pending. So if this continues, it will be the same issue in 2023. So here with me on Factual Chat today, we have Honorable Igo Aguma.
On the 9th of June, the court adjudicated on a case I instituted to give voice to a section of the State Executive Committee that hitherto did not even know. They were not even alive to their responsibilities. That is the statutory members, the national delegates that are in the State Executive Committee of the party. I went to court to seek that a caretaker committee that is set up by the party to the exclusion of the statutory members is unconstitutional, illegal, null, and void, because we are permanently in existence. In other words, you can add to us, but you can't remove us and then bring 4 or 5 people to run the party. Say no. And I told the court, having been alive to my right that has been infringed on, and in view of the crisis going on in my party, the court should appoint me the chairman of the party to be able to bring everybody together. And the court saw wisdom, first in the fact that you cannot, it is unconstitutional to remove a constituted person in the executive committee of the party. And as such, I have locus to come to court, and that my right was infringed on. And since nobody, including all these people who were sleeping partners, objected to my wanting to be chairman, In fact, some arose from there and even swore affidavit in support of my being chairman and put in the court that I should be made the chairman of the party. And the judgment is clear. It said after 48 hours, if the party has not constituted you or the caretaker, that you should comprise the other members to a meeting with you as chairman. And of course, the moment I became chairman of the party, after 48 hours, even before the 48 hours got in there, I started reaching out to the two factions in the party. And I'm even surprised that I received favorable responses, but I didn't know that there were responses laced with deceit. Even from people you felt that with their age they will be sagacious enough. We thought age comes with truthfulness and wisdom. But I didn't know that some old men cannot even be as sincere as they ought to be. Rather, they were using trickery. And I knew that because of COVID and all that, there might be an issue with constituting us within the 48 hours. So, after 48 hours, I advertised for a meeting to happen on Saturday, the 13th.
What mediums were used for this advertisement?
I advertised in 2 national newspapers at my own expense. This Day and Nation. And I listed all the statutory members that could come to my head. By the morning of Saturday, by the morning of Friday when the advert came out, that June 12th, some people were highlighted as having not been added to that list. I got their names. I did a corrigendum on Saturday morning, the day of the meeting, to come out that morning, just for purposes of correction. I did a corrigendum. And then on Friday, the June 12th, we are becoming technologically savvy these days. The natural thing to do is to create a platform for easy dissemination of information of everybody. You have their number. And I sought for as many numbers as possible. If out of 38 members, I could get up to numbers for 35 or is it 36 people. I have tried. And I was also encouraged by the fact that every message I put out there was read and some people reacted. The first person to react on the platform was Dr. Debby. The notice of invitation for meeting was read by him. So, but he chose from his reactions, and they are all documented because I am filing for contempt of court. They are all documented here. His response is that they've forgotten that we amended the Evidence Act by ourselves. So electronic evidence is acceptable. He had never accepted the court judgment. So his act is premeditated, including the act of Chief Uchendu. Chief Uchendu too had never, and I will make available to you at your request because of freedom of information. If you write to me, I'll make available to you. We part the Freedom of Information Act. If you write to me requesting for this information, I'm compelled to give it out to you because of Freedom of Information Act.
I will need them actually. The evidence is.
When you write to me, I'll give it to you. When you write to me, I'll give it to you. It must be documented. It's also obvious that Chief Uchendu raised his objections there. It's all about trickery. What were they trying to do? They were rushing to appeal. They had fired my lawyer, who was my lawyer in the High Court, had told me that they honestly thought I had recruited him as a lawyer for appeal, and came and dumped on him notice of appeal, including stay of execution. I have judgment. I have to defend my judgment. So they wanted me not to call a meeting, not to comprise us to a meeting, so that on Monday they file a stay of execution. And I am sure that I'm even more sagacious than some of them. And I went ahead and called the meeting. They were all put on notice. The password was there for everybody.
How did you know that they received the messages?
Of course, we all have WhatsApp groups.
Okay,
When you swipe to this way, you see everybody that has read the message. You see everybody that has read the message. Unfortunately, some people put this in such a way that you don't know when they are on and when they are not on and all that. So when they even read the message, you don't know. It's only 2 people that have their WhatsApp on the group, and I also know that they read the message. And the first meeting, all the meetings we have had are recorded meetings. And I sought permission of the House to record the meetings so that minutes, since we don't have a secretary, so that the minutes can be transcribed at a point in time, and when we have a secretary. The first meeting we had 20 people in attendance, and the second meeting we had 16 people in attendance.
Even though you had put out a notice to you?
Yes, everybody, and the constitution of the party is clear. The moment you have a quorum is 13. In fact, if you check the number of people invited to a meeting, if you check the first advert, it was for 35 people. I'm coming. If you check the first advert, it was for 35 people. So the quorum is even less than 13. You understand? And the moment you have a quorum, it's politics. The moment you have a quorum, the meeting is constituted. And any decisions taken therein are binding. So it's unfortunate that you have about 6 members from the video that we looked at. We have about 6 members, and as the chairman of this party, I have 8 members of that list that they published there that have already told me that they are not part of that thing they did. They've called on to me. And of course, you don't expect that our father, somebody like Chief Rufus Sada George, who is a peacemaker, who I know is abroad, who I brief regularly on party issues, will be interested in all those type of things that they are doing. That's to tell you the extent to which they don't even respect people. So people are free to ventilate. When you're not in a meeting, you can call a press conference, which is exactly what they did. They called the press conference and started reading to the press the wishes of the faction of the party that I ordinarily belonged to. But I've left. I'm in the middle. I've left because I have a responsibility. Unfortunately, you cannot shave a man's head in his absence. You understand? In other words, the corollary to that is that you can only work with people you are seeing. We all belong to churches, we belong to clubs, we belong to... The fact that you go to church on Sunday, you see a full service. During the week, a few church members volunteer their time, their energy to come by as church workers and make sure that things in the church go through. But everybody is invited to be a church worker. It's not everybody that wants to come to church. The same, likewise in this matter, everybody is invited to a meeting. The Constitution recognizes that not everybody likes to attend meeting. That is why they put the quorum at low. Even in the National Assembly, the quorum of National Assembly, any arm of National Assembly, is 1/3. Because we know that many people don't like to attend sittings. In this case, meetings. You understand? So, when you don't attend a meeting and decision is taken in a meeting that you don't like, and I'm not a fool, I'm not a child. At the age of 31, I was already a commissioner in this state. I'm sure that there must have been something that was seen in me for me to be that. I was in the House of Reps at the same time as Pa Uchendu. We were all in the House of Reps together. So, when you have a motive that all of us must wait for our Oga to give directive that party should move this way or party should move that way. We've done it in 2014 and 2015. We tried a bit and recovered some. In 2019, we didn't have an opportunity to even try. Because even your own children grow up. Once your child is an adolescent, he starts having his own, all of us pass through adolescence. You start being your own man. You start being your own person. You cannot follow somebody. Our politics right now, we started in 1999. This is 2020. 20 years old democracy. So don't expect people to continue to behave in a particular way. Even COVID-19 has taught us that we don't need to be together to have a meeting. Those that were saying that you are calling Zoom meeting, there were only 6 people. 6 addressing press. Then they carried their own staff. I don't know why an old man and another old man who says he's a Christian can be behaving like con men. You carry your own staff behind to deceive people. Well, like I said, it's a press conference. He told me to say one or two things.
They claimed that in the statement it was. I wanted us to go to the details of the statement.
I don't want. I want to.
Part of the issues.
I want to create. Yeah, go ahead. I
want to believe that we already understand your side of the story. You came in to mediate.
Yes.
But now being misunderstood to be taking side, and then even though you have tried your best, according to you, to bring with evidences to show that you have tried your best to put these things together, it didn't go the way you wanted it, and this is resulting. This is the result of people rebelling against your moves. So let us go to their allegations to see whether there is some atom of truth in them. The first allegation was the fact that the court constituted the caretaker, making you the chairman of that caretaker committee, according to the judgment, which I have also seen. And by that, they expected you to come together and allow the party to pick other people who would support you. That is to have a vice chairman, a secretary. That what they saw is that you have been running as a one-man squad, operating single as just a chairman. And this has made it impossible for even the local governments to be carried along.
I want to tell you.
First.
Can we deal with it since we have this one by one? I want to tell you. An order is hereby made directing the second and third defendant within 48 hours of making thereof, to constitute a fresh caretaker committee, incorporated the claimant as chairman and all statutory members of the State Executive Committee as members, in furtherance of the constitution of the second defendant, failure of which statutory members shall comprise the caretaker committee chaired by the claimant in furtherance of all progressive Congress's constitution. Now, the issue is this. After 48 hours, I called them to a meeting. The next issue was appoint secretary, appoint this, appoint that. In fact, when they asked me, when Chief Uchendu asked me what is the agenda of the meeting, I said Isaiah 1 verse 18a, which is, I can read to you, says, "Come now, let us reason together, says the Lord." That's come. Let us sit down. That's the only agenda. That was the only agenda of the meeting.
And not to appoint other.
We don't have such powers.
As voters, as SEC, you don't have the powers to.
You don't have. Are you this? No, you don't have. The party offices have been created, and the caretaker has been told. The party has been told to appoint caretaker with me as chairman.
Okay.
It is the responsibility, according to the constitution, it is the responsibility of the party to appoint deputy chairman and all other positions that make up caretaker. It's the responsibility of the party. If they want, they can do it everywhere. If they want, they can do it as a small one. They only say that statutory members must be members of that caretaker. And of course, I have to obey only the part of the court judgment that says I am chairman, they are caretaker members. However, we even adjourned the meeting.
I want to get something very clear. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that by that statement the court made, does it mean that there's already people who are supposed to be
I want to finish.
Okay.
Now, in between, by the next week, I received a correspondence from the party. Precisely on the 17th. This meeting was on the 15th, on the 13th. 4 days later, I received a correspondence from the party. The correspondence is here, and I don't know, I sent you a copy of it too. Where the party clearly stated that they have received the judgment order, they have accepted the judgment order, making me caretaker. Then they now went further to appoint me the state chairman of the party in the state.